What is up, world? It's Rue from Fathers in Trucking. Rich, say hi.
What's up, world?
That's his thing now.
That's my thing.
That's his thing. He has a thing. Anyway, we are in Missouri, in the Ozarks, on our way to California. We know how to party.
I mean, I know how to party.
Are you saying I don't?
I don't know. Do you know how to party?
Anyway, we're going coast to coast. We saw the sunrise in the Atlantic. We also see the sun set in the Pacific.
Yep.
We actually weren't next to either of those, but we were on the East Coast in New Jersey. We're going to California, seeing the sunset.
Jersey's miserable.
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of weird stuff out there. So if you ever have to go towards the Newark airport, good luck. So today we're completely unscripted, but we've had some crazy things happen in the last 24 hours that we thought would be a good idea for a video for those of you who aren't savvy to it, who haven't experienced it, who are looking to get into the business and don't know how to handle it. So a couple weeks ago we did a video introducing ourselves, or talking about our home time and all the stuff that we miss. And Rich's son was actually scheduled for surgery then, and then got sick. They had to reschedule. Well, then they rescheduled it to yesterday, and everything went fine. Everybody was good.
He was eating solid foods and stuff.
Right. And then all of a sudden we got a phone call late, like midnight or something, saying they had to take him back into surgery.
I slept quite a bit. That was probably the most solid time period of sleep. Almost the whole non-driving portion for me yesterday. I actually slept, which that's the first time that I've done that. But yeah. So my ex called him because she couldn't get a hold of me because I was dead to the world, and he woke me up, and when I was able to get back in touch with her, and she said, you know, he was coughing up blood and all that, so they rushed him back to the hospital, checked him out, said, all right, we're gonna go back in there. There's a blood clot back there where they had removed his tonsils and adenoids, and they had to, I guess, pump his stomach because, you know, what 4-year-old thinks, I'm coughing up blood, maybe I should spit it out? No, he just drank it, you know, swallowed it and stuff, so his stomach was full of the blood and stuff and all that. But he wound up going in again, and fortunately everything was okay. He spent a little bit of time in recovery, and then they admitted him just overnight to keep him monitored and stuff. And I haven't heard anything yet. Well, I heard something about, I guess, a couple hours now that he was still doing okay. He was still asleep.
Right.
So, knock on wood.
So yeah. So anyway, moral of the story: it works really well if you have a teammate. Even if you and your teammate don't get along, or your family doesn't know your teammate, it's always good to have a secondary source on the truck to be able to contact you. For the simple fact that you could be driving along and lose signal, and you'd be in the middle of nowhere for 4 hours. Well, a lot can happen in 4 hours, as we explained. But, you know, even if you just use that second number as a, like, if you have a teammate and you can use that second number, you know, just as a strict case, point of emergency kind of thing, emergency contact only, you know, give your family, significant other, one person to that knows how to get a hold of you. Also, your partner's, your teammate's phone number, and that way, in case something happens and they've been trying to call and they can't get a hold of you, they can contact that other person and make something happen. The other thing is, had something more serious happened and his son still be in a critical condition, this morning we would have called the company and said he needs to go home on emergency, and then we would have figured out a way to get him there. I doubt that they would give us a load heading south, or more than likely what would happen is they'd put him on a bus, or we'd find a plane ticket and get him home as quickly as possible,
Right.
and then they'd route me down there to get back with him. And then someone else would take over this run, so on and so forth. But that's one of those points that we wanted to bring up is, if something like this does happen, you don't have the luxury of getting in your car and driving an hour or two to get to where your loved ones are. You know, so keeping in contact with your family, keeping an open form of communication. You know, like we said, it's his ex-wife, but they still have to be in contact because of their son. So I know it's a bit of a downer, but just something to think about, something to keep in mind.
Yeah, like I said in another video, you know, we've been very amicable towards one another here moving. I mean, since I've been on the road, it's been a lot better than what it was. So we've been able to be in touch, and I video chat with him, you know, every other day, daily, depending on what he's got going on and stuff like that.
That's right. And along those same lines, right, if the roles are reversed, you become the one that gets into the emergency situation, like when I was in the rollover. You, being the professional driver, have to be the one at the scene, have to be the one that people come and talk to you. I mean, it takes hours for, you know, the state police, the local police, the fire and rescue, the record companies to come and move the truck. You know, I mean, I hope nobody else is in a rollover, but I can tell you, with the way these storms have been going the last 3 days, we've seen a truck. I rolled over a truck in every single state.
Yeah, we saw one truck. It was actually a driver for our company.
Yeah.
He was an owner-operator. Somehow, is that me or is that?
That was you.
Really?
Yeah. Well, maybe not.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'm pushing myself.
Anyway.
Anyways, yeah. Somehow had swung his truck into and up a mountain, like maybe drowsiness, who knows? But he had gone like up part of a hill, mountain, whatever, and his truck was embedded in the side of it, and his
Right.
trailer was like on its side, or
Right.
just like
So
it was crazy.
So essentially, his truck was above the trailer, and the trailer was above us. That trailer is 13 foot 6 inches. We are 13 foot 6 inches. So his truck was almost 30 feet in the air on the side of this mountain from the road. No idea how that happened. We're still trying to figure it out. Still haven't been able to. Anyway, but back to my point. When you are the one that is involved in any kind of accident, it takes hours. Meaning that as soon as it happens, you don't have the luxury of calling and saying, hey, this is what happened, and, you know, I want to talk through all of this. You can't do that. When it happened to me, I called my wife. I said, don't freak out. Everybody's fine. I was involved in an accident. I will call you when everything is done. Right? And then she said, okay, hung up the phone. That was it. Then, on the opposite side of that, because Shaq had never been involved in a situation like this, he had never been in an accident before. He was freaking out. So it was on me to talk to the police and the firemen and the road rescue and everybody else at the company and so on and so forth. Mostly because he was still in shock, and I've dealt with situations like that. The military, really got me to focus in on during high stress situations, which worked out great. But imagine if he would have been with somebody else who had never been involved in anything like that, how much worse things would have gotten. And then it didn't help that the police were trying to be jerks, and then I pushed back and they stopped. So we were just talking about that actually. Anyway, keep in mind that there could always be an emergency, whether at home, whether with you, whether with someone else. I had a friend who watched another person die because of a tractor-trailer accident. She wasn't involved, knowing that she knew was involved. She just happened to be a witness. And, it's still in her head. So, just any number of things can happen out here. I mean, all you gotta do is go and look up YouTube videos, watch, or go and read any number of horrible things that you've ever heard. Bad things happen, and so you just need to be prepared the best you can to be able to help your family and to help yourself and anybody else that's around. You got anything else, Rich?
No.
As always, stay safe, stay fit. We'll talk to you later.